Hello and assalamu alaikum everyone. I am MD Shajadur Ahmed. Welcome you all to another tutorial of object oriented programming. Today we are going to discuss about lecture 3 and it is all about Java basics and program with Java. This slide is little bit bigger, so we have divided this slide into two different part 1 and part 2. So we are in part 1 right now. So let's begin. Discussion topics, as we told that we have divided into two different parts. So in first part we will discuss about introduction to Java, keywords in Java, data types in Java, Java identifiers and Java variables, and lastly we will discuss about this. So first of all, introduction to Java. Java is a high-level programming language, we all know that. Originally developed by Sun Microsystem and released in 1995. So we all know that Java is a higher-level programming language and it is actually released in 1995. Java run on variety of platforms. So the main advantage of Java programming is it is actually platform independent. So it can run in any of the platforms such as Windows, Mac, OS, and the various version of Unix or Linux actually. So let us see some important feature of Java. First of all, object oriented, as we all know. In Java everything is object. Java can be easily extended since it is based on the object model. So we can extend Java code anytime, anywhere, any place, whenever it is needed. The second point is platform independent, as we said that when Java is compiled, it is not compiled into the platform specific machine rather than platform independent bytecode. This bytecode is distributed over the web and interpreted by virtual machine, which is called as JVM, Java Virtual Machine, on whichever platform it is being run. So as we all know that it is platform independent, that means the other language like C, C++, whenever we run it, it actually compiled into the specific machine that we are using to run the code. But in the prospect of Java, it is not. It actually compiled and run into JVM, Java Virtual Machine, and it is actually a virtual platform that converted the code into a bytecode. So the bytecode is actually very difficult to interpret by a human being, so it is very secure. The third one is simple. Java is designed to be easy to learn. If you understand the basic concept of OOP, Java would be very easier to master. So ডিজাইনটা করা হয়েছে খুব very easy করে. So if the concept of the OOP is clear to us, it is very easier to code in Java. CQ, all the code is converted into bytecode after compilation. So as we already told in the second point that the code is actually converted into bytecode, and bytecode is very difficult for a normal human being to interpret, so it is very secure, which is not readable by a human being, and Java does not use a explicit pointer and run the program inside a package. So all the program is actually run inside a package. So that's why it is very secure. Portable. So being architecture neutral and having no implementation dependent aspect of the specification makes Java portable. So as we said that it's actually run onto JVM, Java Virtual Machine. So it is very much portable. We can move any code from OS to Linux or Linux to Windows and so on. Compiler in Java is written in ASCII C with a clear portability boundary. So the compiler is actually created by ASCII C. Some of the other features of Java: robust, multi-threads, high performance, distributed, and dynamic. So these are also some other features that is supported by Java programming language. So there is a graphical figure. You can see that first of all the Java program is converted into Java bytecode with the help of the Java compiler, and you can see the bytecode is very difficult to interpret. There are just combination of zeros and ones, so no human being can interpret the Java code in the middle of the conversion, and then it interpreted through JVM, Java Virtual Machine, to the different platform, like it can be Windows, or it can be different version of Linux, or it can be Mac as well. So that's why it is Java is very platform independent, very secure, very robust, and at the same time it is very much portable. Okay, so let's move forward. Popular Java editor. So to write your Java program, you need some text editor, and you can consider one of the following. So there are various IDE available for Java, but the most popular are NetBeans and Eclipse. There are actually with the JVM as well, but you can also write a Java code into Notepad, and in that case you have to run it with the help of as we know that command option. So you can run Java code as using command option as well. So this is an example of simple Java code. So as we all know that we have to start with declaring a class. So in that case we have defined my first Java program, and then we have to define the main method. And in Java, this is the pattern in which we declare the main method. So this is the main, and then whatever we need to print, it should be using the syntax system.out.println, whereas the system is itself a class, built-in class, and inside the quotation the message that we have to display in the output to the user. Okay, so now keywords in Java. So let's see some of the keywords that we are going to use whenever we are going to code in Java. So there are a lot of keywords available in Java. As you can see, there is a chart available, but I'm not going to read down all the keywords, but some of the keywords are very important, and we will frequently use those keywords, like abstract, like private, import, extend, throw, switch, void, return, super, throw, and so on. So time to time we'll use some of them or most of them, the keywords that are available in Java. So what is the importance to remember the keywords? Because it become important whenever we are going to declare a class or a block or a method, because a keyword cannot be used as a class name or a method name. So that's why it is very important to remember the keywords. Data types in Java. So data types is primitive and non-primitive. So mostly we will deal with the primitive data types. So primitive data types is also divided into 4 different types, like integer, floating point, character, and boolean. Integer can be byte, int, short, and long. Floating point can be float and double. Character can be written as char, char, or char we can say, and boolean is only a boolean. So boolean means true. So primitive data type in Java with the range that is available for each type of data type. Like whenever we declare a boolean data type, then the size that is allocated in the memory is 1 byte. That means we can only use 1 bit, either true or false, or either 0 and 1. Whenever we declare a variable as a byte or as a character, when we declare as a byte, it takes 8 bit in the memory, and the range is from minus 128 to plus 127, and so on. So just follow the chart to understand how many data we can use whenever we actually declaring a variables like character types or floating types. So just need to know the range so that it can clarify how many range of values or how many range of data we can use whenever we declare a particular types of variables. Then identifiers in Java. So it is very important to learn and know how to declare and what are the rules to declare a identifier. So let's start. Names used for classes, variables, and methods are called identifiers. So we are saying that classes, variables and methods are called as identifier. All identifier must follow the following rules. So there are some basic rules that need to be followed whenever we going to declare classes, variables and methods. So all identifier is a sequence of character that consists of letters. So the identifier can consist of letters. What letter? From capital A to capital Z, or from smaller a to smaller z. Can contain digit from 0 to 9. Can contain currency character. We know that dollar sign we call as a dollar sign. So a identifier can also contain dollar sign, or can be contain a underscore. So this one is actually underscore sign. So this is the first rule. And then the second rule says all identifiers should begin with a letter, capital A to capital Z, or small a to small z, or can start with a currency character, dollar sign, or an underscore, but it cannot start with a digit. So please remember, whenever we are going to declare a identifier like class, variable or method, it cannot be start with the digit like 0 to 1. So number 3, a keyword cannot be used as an identifier. As we said that we have seen the chart of the keywords, so a keywords cannot be used as an identifier. So that's why it is very important to remember all those keywords. Or time to time, if by mistaken you use a keyword as a identifier, the Java compiler will also let you know that it is not allowed, because it is a identifier. Sorry, it is a keyword, so keyword cannot be used as a identifier. The 4 is most importantly, identifier are case sensitive. So you see, identifier is case sensitive. That means area all are smaller letter, or area start with a capital letter, or area all are capital letter, are 3 different identifier. Okay, so please remember, it is the most important fact in Java coding that Java is case sensitive. So there are difference between uppercase and lowercase. So let us see some example of valid and invalid, or legal or illegal identifier, like age. So starting with A to Z, or dollar sign or underscore is allowed. So age, salary, underscore is sorry, dollar sign is allowed. Then underscore is also allowed, so this is also valid. Underscore is also allowed, so this is also valid. But invalid, we here we can see that starting with the digit is not allowed, so this is a illegal instruction. And also this is a we said it is actually a minus symbol, or sometime we said it is actually a hyphen. So hyphen is actually not allowed to start with a identifier name. So this one is actually very important in order to understand how to declare a variable or class. So now some variables in Java. So particularly there are 3 types of variables in Java, starting with local variable, instant variable, and the static variable or class variable. So these are the 3 types of variable available in Java. So we will try to explain each of. Begin with local variable. Local variable are declared inside method, constructor or block. So please remember, local variable is actually declared inside the method or constructor or block, not in the class. Local variable are visible only within the declared method, constructor or class. That means if you are declaring a local variable inside a method, then you have another method in the class, but that method will not able to access the local variable, because it is only visible or only available within the method or within the constructor. Access modifier cannot be used for local variable. So still we haven't seen what is access modifier, but at least we know that there are whenever we said that it is public or private or protected, it means that it is a access modifier. So we don't need to use access modifier, or we are not allowed to use access modifier with local variable. For an example, class A, we have declared a class which is A, and then int I equal to 50. So this is instant variable. We will learn what is instant variable, but let's move on to here. So void method, this is a method, and inside that int L equal to 90. So this is local value. You see, we have declared it inside a method, so it's only visible within this area. Okay, only within this area. Outside this area it is not visible. So this is called local variable. So let's move on. Instant variable. So instant variable are declared in a class but outside a method, constructor, or any block. So now we came to a variable which is actually declared inside the class but outside the method, constructor, or any block. Access modifier can be assigned for instant variable. So in that case, whenever we declare a instant variable, we can also mention what kind of access modifier is having the instant variable, like public, private, protect, or something else, or default. The instant variable are visible for all method, constructor, and block in the class. So suppose you have 2 or 3 methods inside the class, so all the methods can have access of the instant variable that is declared inside the class. For an example, the same example that we have followed in the last slide. So you can see class A and int I equal to 50. This is instant variable. So that means if it is instant variable, so it is also accessible from the method this method. So this method also can access the instant variable, because whenever there is a method inside the class and whenever there is a instant variable declared within the class, the instant variable is also accessible from the method or from the methods. If there is another method, that method also can access the instant variable. So this now the class or static variable. So class variables, also known as static variable, are declared within the static keyword. So whenever a variable is declared using the static keywords, is known as static variable, okay, in a class. But outside a method, so it's also same to the instant variable, but the main difference is that a static variable is declared with the static keyword. This is the main difference between instant variable and the static variable. But in other prospect there is no difference. Static variable are rarely used other than being declared as constants. Visibility is similar to instant variable, as we said that it is very similar to instant variable. However, most static variables are declared public, since they must be available for user of the class. So all the static variable actually declared as public, so that all the other methods inside a class can access the static variable. So we are following the same example. So you can see int I, this one is our instant variable, and this one is our local variable. We have a class, and inside the class there is a method, and this one is static variable. You see, it start with the static keyword, so that's why it is static variable. But static variable is also accessible from other methods within the class. So if there is more than one methods inside the class A, then all those methods also can access the static variable as well as also the instant variable as well. So this is the 3 types of variables, is a local variable, the instant variable, and the static variable. Now let us see an example altogether to understand how they act those together. So this is an example of coding. So in that case, the class name is my class, and you can see there is a a variable declared which is public type, and this is called instant variable. This one is our instant variable. I is a instant variable, and then we have declared another variable with static keyword. That means this one is our static variable, and the value of static variable is 100. And then we have declared a method inside the class, method 1, and inside the method 1 we have declared a variable L equal to 90. So whenever we declared a variable inside a method or block or a constructor, it called as a local variable. So this one is our local variable. Now if from the method 1 we want to print all the values of these three variable, like of first of all the value of local variable, and then the value of instant variable, and then the value of static variable, it will print the value, the result of these three properly, because this one is a local variable. So a local method, a method can access its local variable, so it will print the value of L. And also we know that the instant variable and static variable is visible from all the method inside a class, so it can also print the value of I and S as well. Okay, so let us consider another method, method 2, and there is no local variable in this method, but we are trying to actually access the local variable of method 1. But we as we learned from the previous slides, that whenever we declare a local variable, it cannot be accessed outside the method or outside the constructor or outside the block. So what happened when we are trying to print the value of L, which is a local variable of method 1, it will give a error message, that is cannot be used as it is a local variable. So you will get a error message. So now we are declaring the main function, and by this way we actually create an object, like this is a reference variable obj, and with the help of reference variable we actually access all the methods. So we have two methods. Method 1, whenever we do this line, after this line it will do execute three statement. First of all, it will print the value of L, and then I, and then S. So the output will look like this. The value of L is 90, the value of I is 50, and the value of S is 100. And then when we access the method 2 with the help of reference variable, it will go to the method 2 and will try to print the statement, but as we said that it is a local variable and it cannot access the local variable, so we will get a message like this, exception in thread. So this is the way actually local variable, instant variable, and the static variable is declared, and they have access. So I guess we all understand how they act and how they actually use. So this is the end of the first part of lecture 3. So we'll discuss it further in the second part. So till then, everyone stay safe, stay home. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.